as loud as they are about this issue, Republicans have not actually rolled up their sleeves and gotten serious about providing the resources either to agencies like Border Patrol or to communities like New York and El Paso and others, a lot of cities in Texas even, and some in Florida, that are doing what they can to fill that gap and to be humane and compassionate.
Well, and in that vacuum, you have the Biden administration sort of rolling out some of the changes that they're proposing that they want to see. And I'm sure, like, we both spoke to a lot of advocates who are doing the hard work on this issue. And I think the most striking thing I heard was this idea that, yes, there are changes that you can sell as temporary changes to asylum. Part of the long-term challenge with that becomes the predication that Biden wins a second term, or you have a Democratic president and all of a sudden you're able to actually reform the system. What happens if instead you get a Republican president who already has a system, an asylum system that has been hobbled, and they choose instead to do away with asylum as we know it?
Yeah, I mean, my fear is that Stephen Miller and Donald Trump basically reset our asylum and immigration system, and the expectations that the general public and a lot of public officials have about how this is all going to work. Even Democrats, some Democrats that have been pushing for Title 42 to stay in place, even though that was a completely unprecedented step, an unnecessary step when it was taken. Policies like Remain in Mexico and the cruelty that we've seen from DeSantis and Abbott and others, the danger is that they have set a new norm, that if there's a Republican administration, it's going to get even more cruel, even more humane, and there are going to be even less asylees here in the United States. And even if there's a Democratic president that's next, they're going to be dealing with a public that has been conditioned more and more now to expect things like Title 42 and Remain in Mexico and other policies that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago and that are fundamentally ineffective to actually solve the problem in front of us.
Right. Both ineffective, immoral, and untrue to who we are at the core of this country. I don't have much time left, Secretary, but I think sort of this all comes back to the fact that really to fix any of this would require congressional action, would require federal action. And it just seems to me that given this House, there is absolutely no appetite for that there.
I agree. It doesn't seem like anything is going to get done substantively on immigration. It's now been a decade almost since it looked like we could get something passed. Maybe in the next few years, you're going to get some piecemeal legislation like DACA or the codification of DACA or something similar. But comprehensive immigration reform or touching these issues that are very controversial, that's just not going to happen.